Sadiq Khan helped and supported grooming gangs in London. That's why so few people have been convicted of that crime. These are the claims being made by the London Assembly, which is the Parliament of London, and I think they ought to be taken very seriously. Now, some of you are going to say that having watched my channel for some time, you know all this already. But I think things have moved on, and I think it's important for us to circulate videos like this and remind people that whilst, to be fair to Lancashire and to be fair to Yorkshire, they've had a major problem, they are also attempting to address this problem. Whereas in London, once again, absolutely nothing is being done whatsoever. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please do consider donating to the Patriot Fund because we support young people who are affected by this problem. Okay, so Sadiq Khan has been through various phases when it comes to grooming gangs. And by the way, I use the term grooming gangs. The reason is because I work on Talk TV, and obviously, you know, they have to use the term grooming gangs at breakfast. So even though you might be watching this in the evening, even though you might be an adult, for taste and decency and consistency, we call them grooming gangs. I know what they are, right? And I know the severity of some of the incidents that took place. Anyway, we know that this has been a problem right across the country. I maintain that it's as a result of third world immigration. That is to say that I refuse to blame every single Pakistani man, every single Muslim for what's taken place. I say that it's to do with third world culture coming into the country, but people might disagree with that. But anyway, let's talk about what Sadiq Khan has done. Well, first of all, there's been a request by the London Assembly to have a new inquiry. That was proposed by the Conservatives, led by Susan Hall. It would have cost £4.5 million, but I think that would have been worth doing. Equally, there's also a senior police officer who's asked about this. Metropolitan Police Detective John Wedger, retired, has alleged that these crimes have been going on for 20 years. Now, what Sadiq has done, first of all, was that he denied that grooming gangs existed. Then he said he didn't know what they were. Now, just to explain what he means by he doesn't know what they are, he's saying, effectively, that whilst there is issues with SA of children, it's to do with misogyny. So he's saying it's not to do with immigration, it's not to do with Pakistani immigration, it's not to do with Islam, it's not to do with any of those things. It's literally to do with misogyny. And so he also said that he didn't feel that there was a major problem in general with this, but he did accept that there was a problem with county lines gangs. Now, county lines gangs is a stupid name for drug dealers with a call centre. That's all it is, where basically everybody who buys drugs in a certain area phones one number, and then the person that answers the phone is outside the area and distributes, phones other people up and gets them to distribute the drugs. So he admits that there's a problem with that. Now, Sadiq Khan is a liar. We know that. And he's somebody who attempts to strike a wedge in between various people in London. He sees things as silos of community. I've talked before today on this channel about the fact that Muslims absolutely hate him for what he did to Uber and the home delivery business. But, of course, he then decided that he was going to make this about Islam, make this about him being a Pakistani, and of course then the Muslim community fell behind him because obviously they're going to support somebody if they believe there's an Islamophobic attack on them, and why wouldn't they? So would you. And so we know that he always does this. But what he's done now is he has allowed attacks to take place in London. Stratford had a grooming gang, which was a major problem there, and there were convictions for it. But of course, there haven't been other convictions, and so what has happened is this has been allowed to continue. You can only address the problem if you understand the problem, and the problem is, as explained by somebody called Ali, who called my show on Talk TV, he said, look, there are people within the community who are bad people who need to be dealt with, and the police need to be tough on them. Now, let's be fair to the Muslim community. It's not the job of individual members of any community to police every element of it. I don't deal with the local R-ist round here. I don't deal with the local P round here. I'm not the person patrolling the streets stopping SA. It's for the public authorities to do that, and Sadiq Khan has attempted to stop them. Now, as you know, my view on Sadiq Khan is very simple, that he should be prosecuted as if he were a member of the gangs himself. He should be done for R. He should be put in prison. And I'll tell you why. Because of joint enterprise. I believe that Sadiq Khan has gone far enough in this project that we can now consider him to be an accessory to the crime itself. He is somebody who's deliberately stopped police from preventing these sorts of attacks. He is somebody who has, in many respects, supported, defended and protected those people who are guilty of these crimes. And I will say, as somebody who is from Lancashire originally, a lot of people around the country, whether it be Lancashire, whether it be Yorkshire, whether it be Oxford, whether it be Bristol, these cities, towns and counties are able to say that they've got to grips with this. In Greater Manchester, 1,000 men are being investigated for this crime. And if that means that there has to be a disproportionately large number of people from the Pakistani community locked up, then that's fine by me. At the end of the day, a disproportionately large number of people from the white community are guilty of burglary, as my food is ready. And we don't complain about that. But imagine a situation now with a mayor of London who is now allowing this crime to continue, who doesn't care about the young people involved as long as he is seen to defend and protect his own community. When did any mosque request that they should be given the right to SA children? When did any imam stand up on Friday prayers and demand this? This is Sadiq Khan inventing this. And I say genuinely that the second largest number of victims of this are the Pakistani men who all get tarred with the same brush. We should be protecting them and helping them now accept that within the Muslim community there's been a major problem with reporting this crime. But hey, why would you report it? Why would you stick your head above the parapet if you know full well that you will not be supported by the authorities? If you know that the victims will be the ones that will be shamed, and it'll be you that will be under attack for what you've said. There does need to be an inquiry right across the country, but there does need to be action taken. And when I think about this, I think about it in terms of, as I say, uncontrolled immigration from the third world. I think it's the third world. I don't see the treatment of women in Africa being much better between Muslim areas and Christian areas, as far as I'm concerned. I might be wrong, but okay. But we are in a situation in this country where we bring these people to these hotels and there's signs up saying, please don't R the local kids. Well, if that's the sort of people you bring into the country, then they shouldn't be in the country to start with. That's the point that I'm making. Now, okay, now these people are in the country, have to do something about it. But first of all, we should be supporting the Conservatives on the London Assembly in their demands for a inquiry. We should be prosecuting Sadiq Khan for the crimes that he's committed. And I believe joint enterprise is a crime. But also, we should be saying that we're not going to bring people to the country from parts of the world where they are wholly incompatible with Britain. You know that guy in Epping Forest? He was in tears. He wanted to have sex with a 14-year-old and he wasn't allowed to do it because it was Britain. He was in tears. He was upset. Is he a bad person? I've no idea. Oh, you can't say that. Look, he's from a shithole where you are allowed to do that sort of thing and where people don't raise their eyebrows at that. What is it? 90% of women in Egypt have been sexually assaulted in their lifetime. It's just one of those things that happens in these countries. And we should be turning around and saying, look, their culture is backward. Therefore, they're not people who are appropriate to come to this country. And Sadiq Khan should be supporting that. Until next time, goodbye.